Joy, tomorrow is your big day. Are you nervous? Sophie Sullivan held my arm, smiling sweetly. Ethan loves you so much. You two will be very happy. I looked at myself in the mirror, wearing a pure white wedding dress, but feeling inexplicably heavy-hearted. Sophie, do you think? Is marriage really the right choice? Sophie was taken aback for a moment, then laughed and said, Of course. Ethan is so outstanding. You've been together for 3 years. Your relationship is so good. I nodded, but always felt something was off. Recently, Ethan had been very busy, often working late and coming home very late. Even when he returned, he always seemed distracted. I tried talking to him, but he would always dismiss me with a few words and find an excuse to leave. All right, don't think too much. Tomorrow's wedding will definitely be perfect. Sophie patted my shoulder. I'll head back first. See you tomorrow. After seeing Sophie off, I sat alone in the living room, lost in thought. My phone rang. It was a message from Ethan. Working late at the law firm tonight. You get some rest early. I stared at this message for a long time, feeling a knot in my heart. We're getting married tomorrow, and he's still working late. I got up, grabbed the car keys, and decided to go to the law firm to bring him some supper. After all, tomorrow is our big day, and I wanted to have a good talk with him. The law firm was in a downtown office building. When I drove to the building, I spotted Sophie's red Maserati in the parking lot. My heart skipped a beat. How could Sophie be here? She clearly said she was going home. With confusion, I went upstairs. The door to the law firm was ajar, and voices could be heard inside. I tiptoed to the door, ready to push it open. But then I heard a conversation that struck me like lightning. Ethan, Joy trusts me so much. Won't it be too cruel to do this to her? It was Sophie's voice. Sophie, I never had any real feelings for her. If it weren't for that house and her family, why would I have been with her for 3 years? Ethan's voice was cold and unfamiliar to me. But tomorrow we're getting married. So what about getting married? After we're married, we can still be together. She's so dumb. She won't notice anything. My hand trembled on the doorknob, almost unable to stand. 3 years. 3 whole years of feelings. And in his eyes, it was all for a house. Ethan, I love you. I don't want to be your mistress. Sophie's voice was tearful. How about we think of a way to make Joy cancel the wedding herself? Don't worry. Once I transfer the house into my name, I'll find a reason to divorce her. Then the house will be mine. The money will be mine. And you can openly become Mrs. White. I couldn't listen anymore. Tears streaming down uncontrollably. So in their eyes, I was just a complete fool. I quietly retreated to the hallway, wanting to leave, but found that the elevator was under maintenance. I had to take the stairs, but wearing high heels, I walked slowly. Just then, the door to the stairwell was pushed open, and Ethan and Sophie came out. They were still talking and didn't notice me. After the wedding tomorrow, we can go on our honeymoon, Sophie said coyly. Leaving Joy alone at home then. Just thinking about it excites me. You little minx. Ethan reached out and wrapped his arm around her waist. Tomorrow at the wedding, you have to act convincingly. Don't let Joy get suspicious. Don't worry. My acting has always been good. Watching them being intimate, my heart shattered completely. I wanted to run away, but accidentally missed a step and fell backward, just as I thought I was about to fall down the stairs. A strong arm caught me. I looked up and met a pair of deep eyes. Careful. The man's voice was deep and magnetic, carrying an inexplicable sense of security. I stared blankly at him. His face seemed familiar, but I couldn't recall where I had seen him before. Are you all right? He steadied me, frowning slightly. Why are you crying? Only then did I realize I was crying, and I quickly wiped away my tears. I am fine. At that moment, the voices of Ethan White and Sophie Sullivan grew closer. I panicked. If they discovered me here, wouldn't everything I had overheard be exposed? Could you do me a favor? I grabbed the man's sleeve, my voice trembling. I don't want them to see me. The man glanced in my direction, seeming to understand. Without a word, he pulled me toward another stairwell. Only when I could no longer hear Ethan and the others did I finally relax. "Thank you," I said, looking at the man who had saved me. "My name is Joy Johnson, Daniel White." My eyes widened as I finally remembered who he was. Daniel, Ethan's older brother, the CEO of the White Family Corporation. I had seen photos of him, but he was even more handsome in person. "You're Ethan's brother." "Ma'am." He nodded, his gaze lingering on my face. "You're his fiancée, Joy." I gave a bitter laugh. "I might not be for much longer." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "What happened?" I looked at him, unsure if I should say anything. After all, Ethan was his younger brother. Would it be wrong for me to complain? If it's too awkward, forget it. Daniel seemed to sense my hesitation. "I'll take you home." "Wait." I called out to him. What do you think love is?" Daniel stopped walking and turned to face me. "Love." He thought for a moment. "It should be two people genuinely caring for each other, willing to sacrifice everything. And if one of them is just acting the whole time, then it's not love. It's deception." His words cut through me like a knife. Yes, I had been deceived for 3 whole years. "Joy," Daniel suddenly spoke up, "will you still attend tomorrow's wedding?" I looked at him, inexplicably feeling there was more to his question. I don't know. If you need help, you can reach out anytime," he said, pulling out a business card and handing it to me. "My private number." I took the card, my emotions tangled. Why would Daniel help me? He was Ethan's brother logically. He should be on Ethan's side. "Why are you helping me?" Daniel gazed at me, his eyes deep. "Because no one deserves to be deceived like that." With that, he turned and left, standing in the stairwell, clutching the card. I felt a tumult of emotions. What should I do about tomorrow's wedding? By the time I got home, it was already 11 at night. I sat on the sofa, staring at the wedding photo on the coffee table. It was heart-wrenching. Ethan in the picture smiled so sweetly, but now it seemed utterly fake. My phone rang. It was Ethan calling. "Joy, why aren't you asleep? Tomorrow's our big day. You should rest early." His voice was tender and considerate. If I hadn't overheard those things tonight, I would have been moved. "Ethan." I took a deep breath. "Are we still right for each other?" The line went silent for a few seconds. "Joy, what's wrong with you? Is it pre-wedding jitters?" He smiled. "It'll be okay after we get married." "What if? If you find out that I've been lying to you, what would you do?" "Silly girl. How could you lie to me? We've been together for 3 years. Don't I know you well enough?" He said it so naturally, as if he wasn't the one who said those things at the law firm just now. "Come on. Stop overthinking. We'll be husband and wife tomorrow. I'll love you dearly." After hanging up the phone, I looked at the word husband on my phone screen. It was so glaring. I picked up my phone, deleted the note, and changed it to Ethan White. Then I walked into the bedroom and looked at the wedding dress hanging in the closet. I carefully selected this wedding dress, and it cost me 3 months' salary. I thought that once I put it on, I could marry the man I loved and live a happy life ever after. But now, this wedding dress seems more like a joke. I reached out and touched the hem of the wedding dress, and tears welled up in my eyes again. Suddenly, I remembered the business card Daniel White gave me. I took out the card, looked at the phone number on it, and hesitated for a long time. Finally, I dialed the number. The phone rang a few times before it was answered. "Joy." Daniel's voice sounded a bit surprised. "It's so late. What's going on?" "Mr. White, I want to ask you a question." "Go ahead." "If you find out that your fiancé has been lying to you, would you expose her at the wedding?" There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line. "Do you want to expose Ethan at the wedding?" "I don't know." My voice was filled with sobs. "I just feel so tired and wronged." "Joy." Daniel's voice was very gentle. "Have you thought about what to do after the wedding?" "What do you mean? Even if you expose them at the wedding, then what? Who will bear your losses? Who will safeguard your reputation?" I was stunned. Yes. I only thought about exposing them. But I didn't think about the consequences. Mr. White, do you have any suggestions? Attend the wedding as normal tomorrow and don't tip them off. After the wedding, it'll help you collect evidence so that you can get what you deserve when you get divorced. Why do you want to help me? I asked this question again. Because I don't like Ethan's way of doing things, Daniel said straightforwardly. Moreover, I think you deserve better. Hearing this, my heart skipped a beat. Then, thank you, Joy. Daniel suddenly called my name. Remember, no matter what, you must protect yourself. After hanging up the phone, I felt a little better. At least, there was someone willing to help me. I walked to the window and looked at the night view outside. Suddenly, I remembered something. 3 years ago, I met Ethan for the first time at a consultation meeting in a law firm. I had just graduated at that time and was having a hard time finding a job. I was very depressed. Ethan took the initiative to talk to me and said he wanted to buy me a cup of coffee. I thought he was very gentlemanly and considerate at that time, so I agreed. Later, he said he liked me and wanted to date me. Although I didn't fall in love with him at first sight, I thought he was a nice guy, so I agreed. Now that I think about it, wasn't it too coincidental that he approached me? Just when I was lost and helpless, he showed up like a savior. The more I thought about it, the more something seemed off. I took out my phone and searched for Ethan's information. He is a partner in a well-known local law firm, earning $1 million a year. He's a real catch. Why would such a man take a fancy to me, a fresh graduate? Unless he had another purpose. I suddenly remembered what he said tonight. If it weren't for that house in her family. House. My family does have a house, left to me by my parents, worth over $8 million. So that's what he's after. I was so angry I trembled all over, wishing I could rush to him right now and confront him. But I held back. Daniel White was right. I need to protect myself. I took a few deep breaths to calm down. Since they want to put on a show, I'll play along to the end. I'll see how long they can keep it up. I went into the bathroom, took a hot shower, and then put on a face mask. Tomorrow is my wedding day, and I want to look stunning, showing Ethan White and Sophie Sullivan what it means to stay composed. Lying in bed, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Images of Ethan White and Sophie Sullivan being intimate kept flashing through my mind, along with Daniel White's deep, penetrating eyes. For some reason, thinking of Daniel White calmed me down a bit. Maybe it's because, at a time when everyone else is deceiving me, he's the only one willing to help. The next morning, I was woken by the alarm. Today is my wedding day. I sat on the edge of the bed, lost in thought for a while, then got up to wash up. The makeup artist arrived promptly at 9 and started doing my makeup. Is the bride not feeling well today? You look a bit tired, the makeup artist said as she applied foundation. Probably just nervous. I forced a smile. Don't worry. I'll give you a natural look that'll make you the most beautiful bride today. While the makeup artist was styling my hair, Sophie Sullivan arrived. She was wearing a lavender bridesmaid dress with flawless makeup, looking radiant. Joy Johnson, you look so beautiful today, she said, hugging me with a smile. Ethan will be blown away when he sees you. Hearing her words, I almost laughed out loud. Last night, she was all over my fiancé, and today she can say this so casually. What Oscar-worthy acting. Sophie, thank you for being my bridesmaid today. I replied with a smile. Silly. We're best friends, this is what we do for each other. Best friends. If stealing a friend's man makes you best friends, then the world is truly absurd. By the way, where's Ethan? Haven't seen him, I asked, pretending not to know. He went to the hotel early to prepare for the groom's arrival. Sophie said, he was so excited last night he couldn't sleep, telling me all about giving you the perfect wedding today. Hearing this, my heart felt like it was stabbed all over again. Last night, wasn't he working late? So he was with Sophie. I clenched my fists, digging my nails into my palms to keep from losing it on the spot. Really? That's so thoughtful of him. I kept up the act. After makeup was done, I put on my wedding dress. Looking at myself in the mirror, I suddenly felt like a stranger. Was this woman in the white dress, with perfect makeup, really me? Joy, you looked absolutely gorgeous, Sophie exclaimed beside me. Ethan is so lucky. Yes, I feel lucky too, I said with a smile. Marrying Ethan is the luckiest thing in my life. Sophie's smile faltered slightly but quickly returned to normal. At 10 o'clock, the wedding procession arrived. I heard the sound of firecrackers and cheers from downstairs. But my mood was strangely calm. Sophie ran to the window, looked out, and then rushed back excitedly. Joy, the groom is here. So many cars, lined up in a long row. I walked to the window and saw more than 10 luxury cars parked downstairs, with a white Rolls-Royce at the front. Ethan White was wearing a black suit, holding a large bouquet of red roses, waiting downstairs. Seeing this scene, if it were the old me, I would have been moved to tears. But now, I only find it ironic. The doorbell rang. It was the groomsmen coming to pick me up. According to tradition, they had to pass various games to come in and get the bride. I sat by the bed, listening to the noise outside, feeling surprisingly calm. Sophie Sullivan was bustling around, sometimes preparing game props, sometimes arranging other bridesmaids. Seeing her so busy, I suddenly admired her acting skills. If I hadn't heard those words last night, I would have been fooled by her. The games went on for half an hour, and Ethan finally overcame all obstacles and arrived at the bedroom door. Joy Johnson, I'm here to pick you up, he shouted loudly outside the door. I took a deep breath, adjusted my expression, and then told Sophie to open the door. Ethan walked in, and when he saw me, a flash of admiration crossed his eyes. Joy, you look beautiful today. He walked up to me, knelt on one knee. Will you marry me? Looking at his sincere expression, a wave of nausea rose in my heart, but I still smiled and nodded. Yes. He stood up, gently kissed my forehead, then took my hand. Let's go, my bride. Just as we were about to leave, I suddenly heard a commotion downstairs. Sophie ran to the window to look, and her face suddenly changed. What's wrong? Ethan asked. Nothing. Maybe some reporters came, Sophie said nervously. I walked to the window and looked. A black Maserati was parked by the roadside. The window rolled down, revealing Daniel White's handsome face. He looked up at me and nodded. My heart inexplicably skipped a beat. Why is he here? Let's go. Don't keep the reporters waiting, Ethan urged. I nodded and followed him out. In the hallway, I deliberately lagged behind a few steps, then took out my phone and sent a message to Daniel. Why are you here? Soon. The phone rang, just to see if you're doing well. Seeing this reply, my mood inexplicably improved a bit. At least someone cares about me. We got into the Rolls-Royce and headed to the hotel. In the car, Ethan kept holding my hand, speaking gently to me. Joy, when we get to the hotel, you might be a bit nervous, but it's okay. I'll be with you the whole time. I nodded, looking at the scenery flying by outside. Also, my parents will be here today. They're looking forward to meeting you. Okay. Ethan looked at me strangely. Joy, you're so quiet today. Are you feeling unwell? No, just a bit nervous. I forced a smile. It's okay. After today, we'll be a real couple. I'll take good care of you from now on. Hearing this, I almost laughed out loud. Take care of me. Or take care of Sophie. We arrived at the hotel and waited in the dressing room for the wedding to start. Sophie was by my side the whole time, talking to me now and then, helping me adjust my wedding dress. Seeing her so thoughtful, I really wanted to ask her, doesn't she feel guilty inside? Joy, when the wedding starts, remember to smile. Sophie reminded me. The photographer will take lots of photos. I know. I nodded. You remember to smile too. After all, you're my best bridesmaid. Sophie Sullivan was stunned for a moment, then nodded. Of course. At that moment, Ethan White's assistant knocked on the door and entered. Mr. White, the wedding is about to begin. I took a deep breath, stood up, and adjusted my wedding dress. No matter what, I had to play out this act. The wedding venue was lavishly decorated, with flowers and ribbons everywhere. The guest seats were filled with people, some I knew and many I didn't. I saw Ethan's parents sitting in the front row, chatting and laughing with other guests. The wedding march began to play, and I held onto father's arm, actually my uncle, since my parents had passed away, as I slowly walked toward the stage. Ethan stood on the stage, wearing a crisp suit, a happy smile on his face. The moment he saw me, his eyes were filled with deep affection. If I didn't know the truth, I would have been moved by such emotion. But now, I just felt disgusted. I slowly walked up to him, and my uncle placed my hand in his. Take good care of Joy Johnson. My uncle patted Ethan on the shoulder. I will, Uncle, Ethan said sincerely. The MC started officiating the wedding, delivering those cliched opening lines. I stood on the stage, looking at the guests below, when I suddenly spotted Daniel White sitting in the back row. He wore a dark gray suit, silently watching us on stage. When our eyes met, he gave a slight nod. For some reason, seeing him calmed my mood considerably. Now, please exchange rings, the MC announced. Ethan took the ring from the best man and gazed at me affectionately. Joy, from today on, you are my wife. For better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, I will love and care for you forever. With that, he slid the ring onto my ring finger. It was my turn. I took the ring and looked at Ethan. Ethan, from today on, you are my husband. I paused, glancing at Sophie below the stage. She was watching us with a beaming smile, tears even glistening in her eyes. What a great actress. I will be faithful to our marriage, I said, placing the ring on his finger. Now, please, the groom may kiss the bride. Ethan looked at me tenderly and slowly leaned in. I closed my eyes and let him kiss me. Applause erupted from the audience, but my heart was icy cold. That kiss held no love, only falseness. Next came the toasting session. Ethan and I held glasses, going table by table to toast. At each stop, guests offered blessings. Wish you a long and happy marriage with many children. A perfect match made in heaven. Be sure to be happy. Hearing these words, my heart grew heavier. If they knew the truth, would they still say such things? When we reached Sophie's table, she stood up and hugged me. Joy, I wish you happiness, she whispered in my ear. Ethan really loves you, I whispered back. Thank you, Sophie. I hope you find true love soon. 2. Her body stiffened slightly but quickly returned to normal. After the toasting ended, we returned to the main table to rest. Ethan's parents came over to chat with me. Joy Johnson, from now on, you are our daughter. Mrs. White took my hand and said, if Ethan White has any shortcomings, please be patient with him. Mrs. White, don't worry, I'll take good care of Ethan. Good girl. Mrs. White smiled happily. You two should have a baby soon. We're both waiting to become grandparents. Hearing this, Ethan and I were stunned. Ethan quickly said, Mom, we just got married. There's no rush. What do you mean no rush? You're already 30. If you don't have kids soon, it'll be too late. Mrs. White said. Joy, don't you agree? I forced a smile. Mrs. White is right. But in my heart, I was thinking, if I really got pregnant, whose child would it be? The wedding lasted until 8 in the evening before it ended. After seeing off the last guests, Ethan and I returned to our new home. This was a house Ethan bought recently, with the loan under my name. Thinking back, his scheme was quite clever. The house in my name, the down payment from me, and the mortgage paid jointly. If we divorced, he might still walk away with half. Joy, you must be tired. Ethan helped me remove my veil. You go shower first. I'll make you some honey water in the kitchen. Okay, I nodded. In the bathroom, I removed my makeup and took off my wedding dress. Looking at my bare face in the mirror, I suddenly felt like a stranger. Was this the woman who had been deceived for 3 years? I took a hot shower, then changed into pajamas and stepped out. Ethan had already prepared the honey water and was waiting for me on the couch. Come sit here. He patted the spot beside him. I sat down, took the honey water, and sipped it. Joy. Ethan suddenly hugged me. Thank you for marrying me. It's what I should do. I love you. I leaned into his arms, my voice soft. I love you too. He kissed my hair. We're going to be very happy. Hearing that, I almost laughed. Happy? What happiness could there be with a cheating man? Ethan, I suddenly spoke up. If there comes a day when you don't love me anymore, will you tell me? Ethan's body stiffened slightly. Silly. How could I not love you? He said. We're married now. I'll always take responsibility for you. Responsibility. Not love, but responsibility. What if you fall in love with someone else someday? I pressed on. That won't happen. His voice sounded unnatural. Joy, you must be exhausted today. Stop overthinking things. Maybe. I sighed. I'm a bit tired. I want to sleep. Okay. Let's sleep. Lying in bed, Ethan held me and quickly fell asleep. But I couldn't sleep. My mind a jumbled mess. I picked up my phone and checked the time. It was already 1 in the morning. Quietly, I got up and went to the balcony. The night breeze was cool, clearing my head. I took out my phone and texted Daniel White. Are you asleep? Soon. My phone buzzed. Not yet. What's up? Can't sleep. I replied. The wedding was a success. He texted back. Yeah, a very successful performance. I typed with a bitter smile. Are you okay? He asked. Reading that message, my nose suddenly stung. Out of everyone, only he asked how I was doing. Not good. I answered honestly. Really not good. Need to talk. I hesitated, then typed. Tomorrow. Too tired today. Okay. Get some rest early. Daniel. I sent another message. Thank you. For what? For being willing to help me. It's what I should do. He replied. Joy. Remember what I said. Protect yourself. Seeing that message, my tears fell. In this world, there was actually someone who cared about me. Someone telling me to protect myself. I wiped away my tears and went back to bed. Ethan White was sleeping soundly, occasionally mumbling in his sleep. Sophie, I love you. Hearing that felt like another knife stabbing my heart. In his dreams, all he thought about was Sophie Sullivan. I looked at the man beside me and suddenly felt disgusted. We'd only just gotten married, and he was already calling another woman's name in his dreams. Was this the love he spoke of? I turned my back to him, closed my eyes, and forced myself to sleep. Starting tomorrow, my life would change dramatically. Ethan White. Sophie Sullivan. Since you want to play, I'll play with you to the end. Let's see who loses worse in the end. The next morning, I was awakened by delicious smells coming from the kitchen. Ethan White was already up, making breakfast. I slipped on my slippers and walked over, seeing him frying eggs. Awake, he turned and smiled at me. I made your favorites. Steamed egg custard and wonton soup. Thank you, I said, sitting down at the table. Sleep well last night. He brought the breakfast to the table. You seemed restless, tossing and turning, probably just exhausted. I replied, taking a sip of soy milk. What about you? Sleep okay? Pretty well, he said, sitting across from me. Oh, by the way, we have our outdoor wedding photo shoot today. Did you forget? I had forgotten. With so much happening before the wedding, it had slipped my mind. What time do we leave? 10 o'clock. The photographer is already waiting at the studio. Okay. I nodded and continued eating. Joy. Ethan suddenly reached for my hand. You're so quiet today. Feeling unwell. Looking at his concerned expression, a wave of disgust washed over me. Such a convincing act. What a shame he wasn't an actor. No, just not fully awake yet. I forced a smile. After breakfast, We headed to the studio. Along the way, Ethan's phone rang several times, but he ignored it. "Whose call?" I asked. "Probably a client." "It's fine," he said, switching his phone to silent mode. At the studio, the photographer had props and backdrops ready. We changed into matching outfits and began shooting. The photographer directed us into various intimate poses. Hugging, kissing, gazing into each other's eyes. Ethan performed flawlessly for every pose. His expressions natural. His smile sweet. If I didn't know the truth, I would genuinely believe he loved me. "The bride looks a bit stiff." The photographer stopped us. "Can you relax a little? Try a more natural smile." "Sorry." I adjusted my expression. "Probably just nervous." "It's okay. All newlyweds are like this." The photographer smiled. "Come on. Let's change the scene." The photo shoot lasted for 3 hours, and I felt like my face was about to freeze from smiling, especially seeing Ethan White's fake smile. I felt even more disgusted. After the photo shoot, we rested at the photo studio. Ethan went to the restroom, and I sat on the sofa waiting for him. At that moment, I heard the staff at the studio whispering, "This couple doesn't seem right." "What's wrong?" The bride was distracted the whole time, smiling reluctantly. "Maybe she's tired. They just had their wedding yesterday." "No. I've photographed so many couples, and I've never seen a bride with that expression. She doesn't seem happy." Hearing these words, my mood grew heavier. Even strangers could see my unhappiness. Yet Ethan, my husband, didn't notice at all. Or perhaps he noticed but didn't care. Ethan came out of the restroom and sat next to me. "Tired? Let's go home and rest. Well, come back tomorrow to pick up the photos." "Okay." I nodded. After returning home, Ethan said he needed to go to the law firm to handle some documents. "It's our second day as newlyweds. And you're going to work overtime?" I asked. "No choice. There's an urgent case," he said. "Rest at home. I'll come back to have dinner with you tonight. Then I'll go with you. I have nothing to do at home anyway." Ethan's expression visibly froze. "No need. The law firm is boring. You should rest at home." "But I want to be with you," I deliberately cooed. "Newlyweds should be together all the time." "Joy." Ethan sounded impatient. "I'm going to work, not to play." "Why would you come along?" Seeing his true colors, I actually felt relieved. At least I didn't have to see his fake kindness anymore. "All right. Go ahead." I nodded. "Remember to come back early." He kissed my forehead. "Be a good girl and wait for me at home." After he left, I immediately sent a message to Daniel White. He went out to the law firm soon. Daniel replied, "I know. Are you going to follow him?" "No need. I have a better way." I asked curiously. "What way?" "Don't worry about it for now. Do you have time this afternoon? I want to invite you for coffee." "Sure. Where?" "Starbucks downtown. Meet at 2. "Okay." After hanging up, I changed clothes, put on some light makeup, and went out. Although meeting Daniel might not be appropriate right now, besides him, I had no one else to rely on. When I arrived at Starbucks, Daniel was already there, sitting by the window waiting for me. He was wearing a casual white shirt and black trousers, looking relaxed, but still couldn't hide his air of elegance. "Sorry to keep you waiting." I sat down opposite him. "I just got here." He pushed a latte toward me. "You usually like this, right?" I was surprised. "How did you know?" "Observation." He smiled. "At the wedding yesterday, you were drinking a latte." I hadn't expected him to be so attentive, remembering such small details. "Thank you." I took a sip of the coffee. "You said you have a better way. What is it?" Daniel took out a small box and placed it on the table. "What's this?" I asked. "The voice recorder. The latest model. Can record continuously for 72 hours. Looking at this compact device, I was a bit puzzled. "Do you want me to use this for recording?" "Yes. Put it in Ethan's car or office and record his conversations with Sophie," Daniel said. "With the recorded evidence, You'll have the upper hand during the divorce. This idea was indeed good. But, would it be inappropriate to do so? After all, it's recording, which might involve privacy issues. Joy. Daniel looked at me seriously. They've betrayed you. Are you still worried about their privacy? He was right. At this point, what else did I have to worry about? I understand. I took the voice recorder. How do I use it? Daniel patiently taught me how to use it, including how to turn it on, how to hide it, and how to export the recorded files. Remember, be very careful and don't get caught. He reminded me, if there's any danger, stop immediately. Your safety is the most important. Hearing his caring words, I felt warm inside. Daniel, can I ask you a question? What question? Why do you want to help me? Ethan is your younger brother after all. Daniel was silent for a while and then said, because I can't stand his actions. Is it that simple? There's another reason. He looked at me with a somewhat complicated look in his eyes. I think you deserve better. Hearing this, my heart started to beat inexplicably faster. What did he mean by saying I deserved better? What was he trying to imply? Daniel, just as I was about to ask, his phone rang. Sorry, I need to answer this call. He got up and walked to the side. I sat there, looking at his tall back, feeling very complicated. Why was this man being so nice to me? When he came back after answering the call, his expression was a bit serious. What's wrong? I asked. Ethan did go to the law firm this afternoon, but not for work. Then what was he doing? Meeting Sophie, Daniel said. My people saw Sophie enter the law firm and she's still inside. Hearing this, my heart was stabbed hard again. On the second day of our new marriage, he couldn't wait to have a date with Sophie. What are they doing? I asked, trying hard to hold back my tears. Not sure. Maybe they're discussing something. Daniel looked at me. Are you okay? Not okay. I said honestly. I'm really not okay. Daniel reached out and gently stroked my cheek, wiping away my tears. Don't cry. It's not worth crying for him. His hand was warm, giving me a little comfort. I know it's not worth it, but I still feel sad. I looked at him. I can't just let go of our 3-year relationship like that. Then don't let go, Daniel said. Use this sadness to remind yourself to be more discerning in the future. His words made a lot of sense. So I nodded. What are you going to do now? He asked. Use the voice recorder you gave me to collect evidence. I clenched the small device in my hand. It'll make them pay the price. Good. If you need help, contact me at any time. Okay. I nodded. Thank you, Daniel. You're welcome. He smiled. Remember, you're not alone in this fight. Hearing this, a warm feeling welled up in my heart. Yes, I wasn't alone. At least Daniel was willing to help me. After I got home, I carefully studied the voice recorder Daniel gave me. This device was very small, only the size of a coin, and could be easily hidden anywhere. After thinking it over, I decided to put it in Ethan White's car. His car is a black Audi A6, and there are many gaps in the back seat where I can hide the recording device. I changed into black clothes, put on a mask and a hat, then went down to the parking lot. Luckily, Ethan had given me the car keys, so I could enter his car anytime. I opened the car door, pretending to be looking for something, then took advantage of the moment when no one was around to stuff the recording device into a gap in the back seat. After doing all this, my heart was pounding fast, and my palms were sweaty. Although this was to collect evidence of my husband's affair, I still felt very nervous. After returning home, I sat on the sofa waiting for Ethan to come back. At 7 in the evening, he finally came home. Joy Johnson, I'm back, he said as he entered the door and hugged me. Did you miss me? Smelling the faint scent of perfume on him, I felt a wave of nausea rise in my heart. This perfume scent wasn't what he usually used. It should be Sophie Sullivan's. I forced a smile. What did you do today? Handled a case. It was a bit complicated, he said, letting go of me. Hungry. I'll go cook. I'll help you. No need. You should rest. He kissed my forehead. A newlywed wife should be well taken care of. Hearing this, I almost laughed. Taken care of. He was with another woman this afternoon, and now he's pretending to care about me. It's utterly hypocritical. During dinner, Ethan acted normally, chatting with me about work and asking what I did today. I truthfully told him that I went to the mall to buy clothes and then watched TV at home. Of course, I didn't mention meeting Daniel White. By the way, tomorrow is Saturday. Let's go out on a date. Ethan suggested. How about going to an amusement park? Sure. I nodded. We haven't been to an amusement park in a long time. Actually, I didn't want to go on a date with him at all, but to avoid blowing my cover, I had to agree. Then we'll leave at 9 tomorrow morning and play all day. Okay. While washing up in the evening, Ethan's phone rang. He glanced at it, then took the phone to the balcony to answer the call. I quietly walked to the balcony door to listen to what he was saying. Sophie. Tomorrow I have to accompany Joy to the amusement park. Let's meet another day. Okay. I know it's not easy for you either. Don't worry. It'll be over soon. I love you too. Hearing the last sentence, my heart turned completely cold. He was planning a date with me while confessing to Sophie. What is this man's heart made of? I quietly returned to the bedroom, lay on the bed, and pretended to be asleep. After finishing the call, Ethan came back, tiptoed into bed, thinking I was asleep, and didn't say anything. But I stayed awake all night, my mind filled with their words. The next morning, Ethan got up very early and made a hearty breakfast for me. Joy, wake up. Let's get ready to go, he said, pretending to have just woken up. I stretched. So early. I want to spend more time with you. He sat by the bed. Hurry up and get up. I made your favorite pancakes. Although I felt disgusted inside, I still got up, washed up, and had breakfast with him. By the way, did you answer the phone last night? I asked deliberately. A client had an urgent matter. He lied naturally. Nothing important. That's good. I smiled. I thought it might be something important. At 9 o'clock, we set off for the amusement park. On the way, I paid attention to Ethan's expression to see if he would discover the recording device. He was acting perfectly normal, focused on driving and occasionally chatting with me. When we arrived at the amusement park, we bought tickets and went inside. The park was packed on Saturday, with couples and families everywhere. Watching other couples looking so sweet made me feel awful inside. Why does everyone else's love seem so genuine, while mine is just a lie? Joy Johnson. What should we do first? Ethan White took my hand and asked. The Ferris wheel. I said. The Ferris wheel is the most romantic ride in the park. A popular choice for couples. We waited in line for half an hour before it was finally our turn. Sitting in the Ferris wheel cabin, gazing at the view below, Ethan held my hand. Joy, I'm really happy being with you, he said, looking at me. Me too, I replied. But in my mind, I thought, if you're truly happy, why betray me? When the Ferris wheel reached the top, Ethan suddenly kissed me. I closed my eyes and let him kiss me. But I felt nothing inside that kiss was just for show. In the afternoon, we tried many rides, roller coasters, pirate ships, bumper cars. Ethan was very attentive, carrying my bag, buying me snacks, and tending to my feelings. If I didn't know the truth, I'd have been moved. But now, every gesture of his felt fake. As evening fell, we sat by the lake to rest. Ethan wrapped his arm around me, watching the sunset. Joy, how about we come here for a date every year from now on? Okay. I leaned into his embrace. If we're still together. What do you mean if? Ethan looked puzzled. Of course we'll always be together. Really? I lifted my head to look at him. Can you promise you'll never change your heart? Absolutely, he said without hesitation. I'll only love you forever. Hearing that, I almost laughed out loud. Only love me forever. What about Sophie Sullivan? Ethan. I suddenly spoke up. If one day you stop loving me, you have to tell me. Okay. Silly. How could I not love you? He kissed my hair. Don't overthink things. I just want to be sure, I said. Who can predict anything with love? Ethan looked at me, his eyes turning complicated. Joy. Is something bothering you today? You seem a bit off. No. I'm perfectly happy. I smiled. What could be wrong about being with the one you love? Good. He sighed in relief. I thought I'd done something wrong. You've done plenty wrong. I just haven't called you out on it yet. Back home, Ethan said he was going to shower, so I seized the chance to check the voice recorder. I connected it to my phone and saw it had recorded a lot. Putting on headphones, I fast-forwarded through the files. Most of it was driving music and traffic noise. Nothing useful. But around 4 p.m., I caught a conversation. Sophie, I'm at the amusement park with Joy right now. Can't really talk. It's fine. Just wanted to hear your voice. I miss you too. Been thinking about you all day. Can we meet tomorrow night? Joy won't suspect anything. Okay. Same place as usual. Hearing that, my hands started trembling. So while he was on this date with me, he was still in touch with Sophie, even setting up a meeting for tomorrow night. I held back my tears and saved the recording. This was the evidence I needed. Ethan White came out of the shower and saw me sitting on the sofa, lost in thought. Joy Johnson, what are you thinking about? Nothing, I said, putting away my phone. I'm a bit tired and want to go to bed early. All right. Let's sleep. In bed. Ethan held me and quickly fell asleep. But I couldn't sleep. My mind filled with that recording. They were meeting tomorrow night. Should I go and catch them in the act? But Daniel White had said my safety was the most important thing, and not to take risks. I thought about it for a long time and decided not to go. Having the recording evidence was enough. I didn't need to see that scene with my own eyes. It would only make me more miserable. I took out my phone and messaged Daniel. Got the evidence. He replied quickly. Well done. Protect yourself. Seeing that message made me feel a little better. At least someone cared about me and supported me. Starting tomorrow, my counterattack would officially begin. Ethan. Sophie Sullivan. Are you ready? The next day was Sunday. Ethan said he would stay home with me. But in the afternoon, he suddenly got an urgent call. Joy Johnson. There's a problem with a case at the law firm. I have to go handle it. He said apologetically. I might be back late tonight. Working overtime again. I pretended to be disappointed. I finally wanted to spend the weekend with you. I'm sorry. Once this busy period is over, I'll make it up to you. He kissed my forehead. Watch TV at home. I'll try to come back early. Okay. Be careful on the road. After he left, I immediately checked the recording device's status. Sure enough, it had captured new content. This time, it was a phone recording of Ethan and Sophie agreeing to meet at the coffee shop in the north part of town at 7 that evening. I checked the time. It was 5 in the afternoon. With 2 hours to go, I picked up my phone and messaged Daniel. They agreed to meet at the North Town coffee shop at 7. I recorded it. Daniel replied quickly. Where are you now? At home. I'll pick you up. Well, go see together. Didn't you say not to take risks? It's not dangerous if I'm with you. He replied. Meet downstairs in half an hour. I hesitated but agreed. Honestly, I really wanted to see their faces for myself, but I hadn't dared to go alone before. Now with Daniel by my side, I wasn't as scared. I changed into black clothes, put on sunglasses and a hat, then went downstairs to wait for Daniel. In less than half an hour, a silver Maserati pulled up. Daniel rolled down the window and waved at me. I quickly walked over and got in the car. Nervous? He asked. A little, I said honestly, but more angry. That's a normal reaction. He started the car. No matter what you see later, stay calm and don't act impulsively. I know. In the car, Daniel played soft music to ease my tension. Joy, he suddenly said. Have you thought about what you'll do after the divorce? Not yet. I shook my head. I'll deal with the immediate situation first. If you need a job, I can help introduce you. Thank you. I looked at him. Why are you so good to me? Daniel White was silent for a moment. Then said, perhaps it's because I saw my own shadow. What do you mean? I've been betrayed too. His voice was a bit low, so I know that feeling. I didn't expect Daniel to have had such an experience too. I'm sorry. I didn't know. It's fine. It's all in the past. He smiled. People who have experienced betrayal know how to cherish sincerity more. Hearing this, my heart skipped a beat inexplicably. What did he mean by cherishing sincerity? Arriving at the North City Cafe, we found a hidden spot to park. This cafe is quite remote, with few customers, making it perfect for doing some secretive things. They're not here yet. Daniel checked the time. Let's wait. At exactly 7 o'clock, Ethan White's Audi appeared at the cafe entrance. After getting out of the car, he looked around to make sure no one was paying attention before entering the cafe. How cautious. I sneered coldly. 5 minutes later, Sophie Sullivan's red Maserati arrived. She did the same thing, looking left and right, then quickly walked into the cafe. Should we go in? I asked. Wait. Let them get settled first, Daniel said. Well, go in through the back door and sit where they can't see us. After waiting another 10 minutes, we got out of the car and entered the cafe. Daniel was very familiar with the layout here, leading me through the back door to a corner seat. From this spot, we could see Ethan and Sophie clearly, but they couldn't see us. I saw them sitting by the window, Ethan holding Sophie's hand, both wearing sweet smiles as they talked. Seeing this scene, my heart was pierced painfully again. Don't look, Daniel said softly. It's not good for you. I want to hear what they're saying. I said, I'll go order coffee and listen in. Daniel got up and walked to the counter. The cafe was small, and the counter was close to their table, so their conversation could be heard. A few minutes later, Daniel returned, looking a bit upset. What did they say? I asked eagerly. Are you sure you want to hear? Tell me. I can handle it. Daniel hesitated for a moment, then said, Ethan was complaining to Sophie, saying that you've become very clingy lately, which annoys him. Hearing this, I almost laughed out loud. Clingy? When have I ever been clingy to him? Is there more? Sophie asked him when he would divorce you, and Ethan said he would wait until he gets the property deed. My hands clenched into fists, nails digging into my palms. Sure enough, their target is my house. Also, they agreed to go on a trip next week, and Ethan will tell you it's a business trip. Bastard. I couldn't help but curse. Do they really think I'm a fool? Joy Johnson. Calm down. Daniel took my hand. Getting angry won't solve the problem. His hand was warm, calming my agitated emotions a bit. Let's go, I said. I don't want to see them anymore. Okay. We quietly left the cafe and got into the car. What do you plan to do now? Daniel asked. Continue gathering evidence, I said. Once I have enough, I'll confront them. Do you need my help? You've already helped me a lot. I looked at him. I don't know how to thank you. No need to thank me. He started the car. Friends should help each other out. Friends. Hearing that word, I felt a pang of disappointment in his eyes. We were just friends, after all, and it made Sensei was still a married woman. How could he possibly have other thoughts about me? When I got home, Ethan White hadn't returned yet. I sat on the sofa, replaying everything I'd seen that day. My emotions a tangled mess. Even though I'd long known about their relationship, seeing it firsthand was still painful. At 10:30, Ethan finally came home. Joy Johnson, you're not asleep yet. He looked exhausted. Today's case was complicated and took longer than expected. It's fine. I was waiting for you. I walked over to help him off with his coat. Have you eaten? Just grabbed something quick at the office. He hugged me. What about you? I ate already. I caught a faint whiff of perfume on him, Sophie Sullivan's scent. Tired. Do you want me to give you a massage? I asked, feigning concern. No need. A shower will do. He kissed my forehead. You go ahead and sleep. I'll join you after my shower. Okay. After Ethan went to shower, I seized the chance to check the recorder's contents. Sure enough, it had captured their conversation at the cafe with crystal clarity. I saved all the recordings to my cloud drive as evidence. Now I had solid proof of their affair. It was time to plan my next move. I pulled out my phone and sent a message to Daniel White. The recordings are all saved. Thanks for keeping me company today. No problem. Get some rest. He replied promptly. Daniel. I sent another message. When do you think I should confront him? Wait until after their trip. The evidence will be stronger then. Okay. I'll follow your lead. Joy. For now, keep pretending you know nothing and protect yourself. I will. Lying in bed, listening to the water running in the shower, my heart churned with mixed feelings. In just a few days, this marriage would be over, even though it was the outcome I wanted. I still felt a twinge of reluctance. After 3 years together, it wasn't something you could just walk away from easily, but some things had to end for a new life to begin. Ethan, our little game is coming to an end. Over the next few days, Ethan acted perfectly normal. Coming and going from work on time, chatting and eating with me at home. If I hadn't known the truth, I'd have believed he was a caring, devoted husband. On Wednesday evening, Ethan shared some news with me. Joy. The company is sending me on a business trip to Shanghai for about a week. He said it so naturally, as if it were a real work assignment. When are you leaving? I played along. Tomorrow morning's flight. He said. I didn't want to go. But this case is critical. And I have to handle it personally. I sneered. An worldly business trip. More like a vacation with Sophie. Then let me drive you to the airport. I offered. No need. The company has a car arranged. He hurriedly refused. Just rest at home and wait for me. Of course he couldn't let me come. What if I spotted Sophie? All right. Then be careful on the road, I said, putting on a reluctant act. Remember to call me every day. Of course I will. He hugged me. 7 days will fly by. The next morning, Ethan packed his bags to leave. I helped him organize his clothes, playing the role of the attentive wife. Got everything? I asked. Yeah. All set. He zipped up the suitcase. Joy. I'm off now. Travel safe. Message me when you arrive. After sending off Ethan White, I immediately sent a message to Daniel White. He has set off. Probably going on a trip with Sophie Sullivan. I know. I'll send someone to follow them and gather more evidence. Daniel replied. Thank you. You're welcome. Be careful yourself these few days. The feeling of being alone at home was strange. Both relaxing and empty. Relaxing because I no longer had to watch Ethan's fake performances. And empty because I was used to having someone around. In the afternoon, Sophie suddenly called me. Joy Johnson. Heard that Ethan is on a business trip. Her voice sounded natural. Yeah. Going to Shanghai for a week. I replied. How did you know? I passed by their law firm today and heard from colleagues. She lied very smoothly. I happen to be free these few days. Want to hang out? I laughed coldly to myself. She should be with Ethan now. Yet she still had the mood to call me. What a good actress. No. I want to rest at home. I refused. Don't be like that. Ethan isn't home. You must be bored alone. She continued persuading. Let's go shopping. Then have a big meal. Really no need. Sophie. I insisted. I have a bit of a cold and don't want to go out. All right then. Rest well. She sounded disappointed. Call me if anything. Okay. Thank you. After hanging up, I felt deeply ironic. She was traveling outside with my husband yet hypocritically caring for me. How could someone like that keep a straight face? That evening, Ethan called me to report on his work situation. Joy. I've arrived in Shanghai. The hotel is pretty good. His voice sounded relaxed. Tired. Want to rest early? I asked with concern. Not too bad. Official work starts tomorrow, he said. How are things at home? Fine. Just miss you a little. I miss you too, he said naturally. Once I finish up, I'll come back to be with you. Okay. Focus on work. Don't worry about me. After hanging up, I took out the voice recorder and found that the call had been recorded. This device was really sensitive. As long as it was near Ethan, it captured all sounds. The next day, Daniel sent me a few photos. In them, Ethan and Sophie were dining at a high-end hotel restaurant, acting very intimately. Got them clearly. I replied. There's video too. Need it? He asked. Yes. The more evidence the better. All right. I'll have someone keep following. Looking at the sweet images of Ethan and Sophie, I realized I wasn't as angry as before. Maybe it was because I already knew the outcome, so I was numb. Or perhaps it was because Daniel's help gave me support, making me less desperate. Over the next few days, Daniel would check on me daily, asking if I was eating well and resting properly. His concern felt genuine, not fake like Ethan's. Gradually, I found myself starting to look forward to his messages. Every time my phone rang, I hoped it was from him. This feeling scared me a little. I was still a married woman and shouldn't be developing such feelings for another man. But I couldn't control my heart. Daniel was like a beam of light, brightening my gloomy life. On Friday evening, Ethan called me again. Joy. Work is progressing well. Might be able to come back tomorrow. So soon. I was surprised. Didn't you say it would take a week? That was the original plan. But efficiency was higher than expected. He explained. I want to come back early to be with you. That's great. I pretended to be happy. I've missed you so much already. I miss you too, he said. My flight is tomorrow night, arriving around 9 at home. Okay, I'll wait for you at home. After hanging up, I immediately sent a message to Daniel White. He's coming back tomorrow night. I know. I'll come pick up the recorder tomorrow afternoon. Daniel replied. Are you ready? What do you mean? The confrontation. The evidence is sufficient. Seeing this message, my heart inexplicably raced. Finally, it's time for the confrontation. Although I've been waiting for this day for a long time, when it really comes, I'm still nervous. Do I need to prepare anything? I asked. Organize all the evidence and think about what to say. Daniel replied. Remember, you have the upper hand this time. Don't soften your heart. I know. Joy Johnson. He sent another message. No matter the outcome, I will support you. Seeing this, my eyes suddenly welled up. For so long, only he has truly cared about me and supported me. Thank you, Daniel. I replied. Really, thank you. You're welcome. It's what I should do. The next afternoon, Daniel came to pick up the recorder. We met at a nearby coffee shop. You've worked hard these past few days, he said as he took the recorder. It'll be used tonight. I'm a bit nervous, I said honestly. Nervousness is normal. He comforted me. But remember, it's not your fault. It's theirs. I know. It's just 3 years of feelings, ending just like that. I still feel reluctant. Joy. Daniel looked at me seriously. Some people aren't worth your reluctance. I understand. I nodded. After tonight, everything will be over. Yes. Only after it ends can a new life begin, he said. A new life will be better. Hearing this, I suddenly became curious. Daniel, what kind of life do you think is good? He thought for a moment, then said, a life that's sincere, straightforward, without deception. Is your life like that now? Not yet. He looked at me, his eyes a bit complicated, but I hope to become like that. We looked at each other for a few seconds, the atmosphere a bit awkward. All right, I should go back and prepare. I stood up and said, the show tonight is about to start. Good luck. Daniel also stood up. Contact me anytime if anything happens. Okay. After returning home, I organized all the evidence, including recordings, photos, videos, and chat logs. This evidence is sufficient to prove Ethan White and Sophie Sullivan's affair. At 8 in the evening, I started applying makeup, preparing to face this confrontation. I want to show Ethan that the wife he thought was stupid actually knows everything. This marriage game should end at 9:30 in the evening. Ethan returned home on time. He was dragging his suitcase, wearing a tired but gentle smile. Joy, I'm back. He put down the suitcase and opened his arms to hug me. I walked over and hugged him, smelling the familiar perfume on him. Not his scent, but Sophie's. Tired. How was the business trip? I pretended to care and asked. Not bad. Just missed home a bit. He kissed my forehead. Missed my precious wife. Hearing this, I almost laughed. Missed me. Probably missed Sophie. I made you some late-night snacks. All your favorites. I took his hand. Eat something before you take a shower. How thoughtful. He followed me to the dining table and sat down. How have you been alone these past few days without me? A bit bored. But Sophie asked me out a few times. I deliberately mentioned Sophie Sullivan. Ethan White's expression stiffened slightly, but quickly returned to normal. Really? Where did you go? Just shopping. Watching movies. That kind of thing. I continued making it up. By the way, she said she's going on a business trip these days too. Probably to Shanghai. At this, Ethan was completely frozen. He knew Sophie had indeed gone to Shanghai, but didn't know if I had discovered anything. Is that so? What is she going to Shanghai for? He asked cautiously. Probably something for work. I pretended to be nonchalant. Didn't you run into each other? Shanghai isn't that big. No. I've been busy with work. No time to go out. He hurriedly explained. And Shanghai is so big. How could we possibly run into each other? True. I nodded. What a coincidence that you both went to Shanghai on business trips at the same time. Ethan's forehead was starting to sweat. He picked up the water glass and took a big gulp, trying to hide his nervousness. Joy, I'm a bit tired. I want to take a shower and rest. Okay, go ahead. I smiled. I'll clean up the table. After Ethan went to take a shower, I took out my phone and sent a message to Daniel White. He's back. I'm getting ready to start. Good luck. I believe in you. He replied. If anything unexpected happens later, I'll call you. Okay. I'll be waiting anytime. Putting away my phone, I took a few deep breaths to calm myself down. I had to perform this act well. 20 minutes later, Ethan came out after showering, wearing pajamas and sitting on the edge of the bed. Joy, come here. He patted the spot beside him. Let's chat. I walked over and sat beside him. Ethan, I suddenly said, I want to ask you a question. What question? If I cheated, would you forgive me? Ethan was stunned for a moment, then quickly shook his head. How could you cheat? You're not that kind of person. I'm just hypothesizing. I continued asking, if it really happened, what would you do? Of course I wouldn't forgive, he said without hesitation. Betrayal is betrayal. No excuses. Hearing this, I sneered inwardly. That sounds nice. But what about you? What if it was you who cheated? I looked into his eyes. Do you think I should forgive you? Ethan's expression changed. Joy, why are you always asking these strange questions today? How could I possibly cheat? I'm just hypothesizing too. I smiled. After all, there are so many people cheating these days. We can't guarantee that we'll never encounter this kind of thing. We want. He took my hand. We love each other. Trust each other. How could we cheat? Love each other. Trust each other. What a huge joke. Ethan. I suddenly stood up and walked to the wardrobe. I want to show you something. I opened the wardrobe and took out a folder from inside. Ethan looked at me puzzledly. What is it? I walked back to him, opened the folder, and placed the photos inside one by one on the bed. What is this? Ethan's words caught in his throat. In the photos, he and Sophie were having an intimate conversation in a cafe, dining in a hotel restaurant, hugging and kissing on the street. Each one was taken clearly. Undeniable. WH. Where did this come from? Ethan's face was as pale as paper. And this. I took out the voice recorder and pressed play. The sound of his and Sophie Sullivan's conversation came through clearly. Ethan White. I love you. I love you too. Sophie. Joy Johnson trusts me so much. Is it too cruel for us to treat her like this? She's so stupid. She won't notice anything. Hearing the recording, Ethan completely broke down. Joy. Let me explain. He tried to grab my hand, but I dodged it. Explain what? I stared at him coldly. Explain how you deceived me for 3 years. Or explain how you hooked up with my best friend. It's not what you think. Not what I think. I picked up a photo and slammed it on his face. Then tell me. What is this? Ethan was hit by the photo and slumped weakly. Joy. I was wrong. I was really wrong. He started crying. Please forgive me. I'll never do it again. Forgive. I sneered. Just now you said betrayal is betrayal. With no excuses. Now that it's you, you're begging for forgiveness. He stammered. I was temporarily confused. Seduced by Sophie. Temporarily confused. I pulled out a document. This is the bank statement showing you transferred $300,000 to Sophie. Can temporary confusion involve that much money? Seeing the bank statement, Ethan was speechless. The $300,000 was transferred out of our joint account. I had discovered it long ago but kept quiet. And this. I produced their chat logs. It started half a year ago. Is that temporary confusion? Ethan looked at the evidence, knowing he couldn't argue. Joy. I admit I was wrong. I'm scum. I'm not human. He knelt on the floor, clutching my leg. But I truly love you. I can't bear to leave you. Love me. I kicked him away. You call this loving me? I know I messed up. But I really love you. He sobbed uncontrollably. Give me one chance. I'll change. A chance. I sneered. I gave you 3 years of chances. How did you treat me? Joy. Enough. I shouted, cutting him off. Stop acting. I've seen enough of your performance. Ethan stared at me blankly, seemingly unable to believe this was the usually gentle me. From today on, we're getting a divorce, I said calmly. The house is mine. The car is mine. You leave with nothing. No. Ethan suddenly jumped up. The house is our joint property. You can't take it all. Finally showing his true colors. Joint property. I scoffed. I paid the down payment. And I've been covering the mortgage payments. What right do you have to share the house? But we're married. Legally. I interrupted. Fine. Then we'll go through legal procedures. I have solid evidence of your affair. How do you think the judge will rule? Ethan realized the seriousness. With this evidence, he wouldn't get any assets and might even leave with nothing. Joy. Let's talk this through properly. He tried to ease the tension. There's nothing to discuss. I walked to the door. You move out tomorrow. I've already prepared the divorce papers. I don't agree to the divorce. Ethan suddenly yelled. You have no right to unilaterally file for divorce. Then we'll see each other in court, I said coldly. Let's see who the judge sides with. With that, I left the bedroom, leaving Ethan alone. I went to the living room and texted Daniel White. Confronted him. Went smoother than expected. What was his reaction? Daniel replied quickly. First begged for mercy. Then showed his true self. Refuses to leave with nothing. Typical reaction. With the evidence. He can't make waves. Thank you. I typed. Without your help, I couldn't have gathered this evidence so fast. It's what I should do. He responded. Are you safe alone at home tonight? Seeing that message, I suddenly felt warm. At a time like this, someone still cared about my safety. Should be fine. He wouldn't dare do anything to me. I replied. And I've backed up all the evidence. Even if he steals the originals, it's useless. Good. Contact me anytime if needed. Yeah, thank you. Putting away my phone, I sat on the sofa, feeling much more relaxed both physically and mentally. Finally, I didn't have to pretend anymore. Finally, I could tear off the false mask. From the bedroom came Ethan White's crying, sometimes angry curses. But I didn't care anymore. I won this marriage game. The next morning, Ethan came out of the bedroom with red eyes. He looked haggard, obviously having not slept all night. Joy Johnson. He walked up to me, his voice hoarse. Let's talk again. I put down the coffee in my hand and looked at him coldly. What is there to talk about? About the divorce. I think we can negotiate. Negotiate what? I interrupted him. You cheated first. According to the law, you should leave with nothing. But Joy, we have 3 years of feelings after all. Feelings? I sneered. When you were with Sophie Sullivan, did you think about our feelings? Ethan was left speechless. I'll give you 2 choices. I stood up, looking down at him. First, sign the divorce agreement, leave with nothing, and depart with dignity. Second, take it to court and let everyone know your dirty deeds. Joy, you've changed. Ethan looked at me, his eyes full of disbelief. You weren't like this before. Yes, I've changed. I smiled. Someone who's been deceived for 3 years will always grow up. But, no buts. I took out a document and handed it to him. This is the divorce agreement. Take a look. Ethan took the agreement, quickly scanned it, and his face grew uglier. This is too much, he said angrily. The house, the car, the savings all go to you. And I get nothing. You still have Sophie, I said mockingly. Doesn't she love you very much? Let her support you. Joy Johnson, you can't do this to me. Ethan's voice rose. We are husband and wife. Even if we divorce, the property should be divided equally. Husband and wife, I sneered. When you were in bed with Sophie, did you think we were husband and wife? Moreover, I've checked. I took out another document. The down payment for the house was paid by me, and the mortgage was also deducted from my account. The car was bought by me, and most of the savings are from my salary. What right do you have to share this property? Ethan looked at the document and was completely speechless. Indeed, over the past 3 years, I had borne most of the expenses. Although his income was not low, his spending was greater, and he was often in deficit. Most importantly, I took out the last document. This is our prenuptial property notarization. Have you forgotten? Seeing this document, Ethan's face completely changed. Before marriage, to show his generosity, he proactively proposed signing the prenuptial property agreement. At the time, he thought that since it was true love, these things didn't matter. Now, it seems this notarization became his death warrant. According to this notarization, your premarital property belongs to you, and my premarital property belongs to me, I explained. As for the marital property, since you cheated first, according to legal provisions, you have no right to divide it. Ethan slumped on the sofa, completely desperate. Joy, please, leave me something, he begged. After all, I've been with you for 3 years. Been with me for 3 years. I found it ridiculous. Were you with me for 3 years? Or deceiving me for 3 years? I know I was wrong. But, the doorbell suddenly rang. I walked over to open the door and saw Sophie standing outside. She was wearing yesterday's clothes, obviously having not slept all night either. Joy, she saw me, a flash of panic in her eyes. I am here to see Ethan. See him. I stepped aside. Come in. He's right here. Sophie cautiously walked in, saw Ethan sitting on the sofa, her eyes full of worry. Ethan, what's wrong? She wanted to go over, but I stopped her. Stop, I said coldly. Sophie, I have something to say to you. Sophie stopped and looked at me nervously. Joy, what do you want to say? I want to ask you. I walked up to her. All these years as my best friend. Were you happy? Joy, what do you mean by that? Sophie pretended not to understand. What do you mean? I pulled out those photos, slapping them one by one onto her face. What does this mean? Seeing the photos, Sophie Sullivan's face instantly turned pale. Joy Johnson, you listen to my explanation. Explain what? I sneered. Explain how you seduced my husband, or explain how you pretended to be innocent in front of me. It's not what you think. Sophie tried to argue. Then what is it? I took out a voice recorder and played her conversation with Ethan White. Hearing her own voice, Sophie completely broke down. Joy, I was wrong. I really was wrong. She knelt on the floor, crying uncontrollably. I didn't mean to. I was tricked by Ethan. Tricked. I mocked her. You're an adult. And you still get tricked. Sophie stammered incoherently. Sophie, I treated you as my best friend. But you stole my husband. My voice was calm, but every word cut like a knife. Do you have no conscience? Joy. I really know I was wrong. Sophie hugged my leg. Please forgive me. I'll never dare to do it again. Forgive. I kicked her away. Do you think some things can be forgiven? But we have years of friendship. Friendship. I sneered. The moment you slept with my husband, our friendship was over. Sophie was speechless from my words. Also, I pulled out a document. This is the record of my husband transferring money to you. A total of 300,000. Since you're in love. Consider this money my wedding gift to you. Hearing the words wedding gift, Ethan and Sophie both froze. However, I shifted my tone. This 300,000 came from our joint account, meaning half of it is mine. Sophie, you need to pay me back 150,000. What? Sophie stared at me in shock. Why should I pay you back? Why? I showed the bank statement. Because of this transfer record, the money was sent to you. And if you don't pay back, I'll sue you. Sophie looked at the bank statement. Her face turning even uglier. I don't have that much money. No money. I sneered. Then you can pay it back slowly. I'm not in a hurry. Joy, you can't do this. Why can't I? I interrupted her. When you stole my husband, did you think you couldn't do it? Sophie was left speechless by the question. All right. I've said my piece. I walked to the door. Now, both of you, leave my home. Joy. Ethan tried to say something. Shut up. I shouted at him. You have no right to speak here anymore. Ethan was intimidated by my presence and didn't dare say another word. Sophie, get out of here too. I pointed outside. Don't ever let me see you again. Sophie stood up crying, stumbling out. Ethan hesitated for a moment, then followed her out. The moment the door closed, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. This farce was finally over. I took out my phone and sent a message to Daniel White. It's all resolved. They're gone. Soon. Daniel replied. Congratulations on regaining your freedom. Thank you. I typed. Without your help, I couldn't have done it so smoothly. You deserve it. He replied. If you have time, let's meet up to celebrate. Sure. I agreed without hesitation. Meet at that cafe from last time in 1 hour. Okay. Putting away my phone, I looked at the empty house with mixed feelings. 3 years of marriage ended just like that, though I had expected it. It still felt a bit emotional when it happened. But an end also means a new beginning. I believe that without Ethan and Sophie, those toxic people, my life will get better. 1 hour later, I changed into a pretty dress, put on light makeup, and headed to the cafe. Daniel was already waiting there. Seeing me come in, he stood up and waved with a smile. Congratulations. He raised his coffee cup. Hey, race to your new life. Thank you. I also raised my glass. To us. May our friendship last forever. When I said the word friendship, I suddenly felt a bit guilty because I realized that my feelings for Daniel White might have gone beyond the bounds of friendship. Joy Johnson. Daniel suddenly called my name. I have something to tell you. What is it? I asked curiously. After you've completely moved on from this relationship, I want to pursue you. Hearing this, my heartbeat instantly sped up. He wants to pursue me. Daniel, I know it might be too early to say this now. He interrupted me. But I want you to know that I'm serious. I looked into his sincere eyes and felt a warmth surge in my heart. So, my feelings weren't unrequited. Can I think about it? I asked with a smile. Of course. He also smiled. I'll wait for your answer. The sun set, and the light in the cafe turned gentle. I looked at the man before me and suddenly felt the future was full of hope. Perhaps true love was just beginning. 3 months later, my divorce proceedings with Ethan White were officially finalized, just as I had anticipated. He left with nothing. Not a single cent. Sophie Sullivan also repaid me $15,000 in installments as agreed. As for the two of them, it's said they're not doing well now. With no source of income, Ethan was quickly disliked by Sophie. Sophie discovered that a man with no money, no matter how handsome, is useless. And I began a brand new life. The feeling of being single again was wonderful, free, relaxed, and full of possibilities. Most importantly, I had Daniel by my side. He didn't rush to pursue me. Instead, he gave me enough time and space to heal myself. We often drank coffee together, watched movies, and strolled in parks, just like two ordinary friends. But I knew our feelings were slowly deepening. Finally, on a moonlit night, I gave him the long-awaited answer. Daniel, I'm willing to be with you. He smiled, a smile gentler than the moonlight. Joy, thank you for giving me this chance. It's me who should thank you, I said. Thank you for making me believe that true love still exists in this world.